just?
I recorded because Laura said she wanted to come, but she couldn't, so I'm going to record it.
Okay. Yeah, I thought actually that there was, since after all, Thich Nhat Hanh, we're marking his passing, and he's dying. If you want to be more direct, Heidi.
He's dead.
What
He's just a cloud. He's just a cloud.
He's just a clown. He would like us to believe, yes.
Or as they say in Australia, his falling off the twig.
Falling off the twig. That's nice. And he's probably not a cloud yet, I would imagine. So.
He'll discuss that as we go on, because I wanted this. One of the things I decided to do at the end was I watched some things that touched on. He's old enough, past 80, and he's starting to think about his own death, and he's talking about life and death and all that, and from the Buddhist point of view. So I thought that would fit very nicely as a continuation of what Heidi gave us last week. So,
hey, cool.
Why not?
That was good.
So I'll let you know. Let me know when we should start. I think you all know he wrote like 140 books.
I think I've read 100 of them.
Yeah, and
they're very short and easy to read.
Short. Many of them are shorter than some of his lectures where he's teaching. Anyway.
Anytime you want, Dan. Okay. I think we can go.
All right, let's do that. He's a remarkable scholar, I found, and he was a member of the. A lot of people are confused as to what kind of Buddhist monk he was. He was a Buddhist monk in two traditions, largely the Zen tradition from the Vietnamese point of view. In fact, it was called the Zen school of Buddhism, which is connected to the Chinese Chan, which we've always heard is what was the prefigure of Zen in Japan and Korea. And I've always heard that it came from a word meaning meditation in Sanskrit. I finally got the connection, because he used to say Chan, yes, and there's a Sanskrit dhyana, but actually the Chan is actually a nickname, a shortening of Chana, which sounds an awful lot like dhyana, and that's what they did in China with a lot of translations of Sanskrit words. They just tried to get as close to the pronunciation as they could, and then they found Chinese characters to make it look good. But that's just fine. And he also studied so much that he studied in Princeton Theological Seminary and many other places, and many places in Vietnam. In fact, he quit some of his first training centers in Vietnam, because he wasn't getting enough philosophy for him or enough psychology. He was also trained as a scientist, believe it or not.
Really? Wow.
He was a remarkable polymath of a guy, actually. And so we got into the University of Saigon, which had to be the best one in the school in the country at the time. And in his Buddhist book, he wanted to bring the disparate schools of Vietnamese Buddhism together. He started preaching that way because he was such an outstanding guy. He got to preach in distinguished temples. When they found out what he was preaching, they didn't like it, so they stopped him. So he later ran into all kinds of trouble with the government, as you know. But his whole thing was to unite the schools of Buddhism. And he carried that on to his peace work. His whole thing in his peace work was what he described often as deep listening to the other side. Which he did, but it didn't do him much good in Catholic-dominated South Vietnam at the time, fighting against the communists. Anybody that said the word peace was automatically condemned as a communist.
Oh, God.
And he actually had to escape. And he didn't knowingly escape. He accepted a speaking engagement at the last minute to go to Cornell and give a speech. Flew out of the country on the night that they sent people, an assassination squad, to his group and killed people looking for him principally.
Oh, geez.
Yeah. So he just made it.
Wow.
Anyway, so Heidi said when she went to Bhutan, they were asked to think about death all the time as they started meditating, and Buddhist monks do that. I think you probably know some of the rituals are to meditate in graveyards and the like, no less. So he has some original thoughts to say about death, that at least original to this group, I think. So I have in my searching through all these videos on him, I found a couple that I thought, as I say, would connect very nicely, add to, just continue on what Heidi had begun last week, and it could be more appropriate because we're mourning his death.
Yes.
Okay, so let me play one of them now, if I can. Yeah, here it is. Oh, gosh, I lost the other one. We're going to keep writing one at a time. But this one is a good start. Make it bigger. I'm going to turn on captions. Yes, I think they are on. It's a little hard to understand. This one is done in Plum Village in France, so you can start seeing some of the, it's a lot of French on the walls and so on.
In the traditions of religion, we tend to believe more in something long-lasting, like the soul. We know that in Buddhism, the notion of soul does not exist. You can call consciousness, you can imagine, you can identify consciousness with soul. You may even call consciousness your soul, with the condition that you know that its nature is only a cinematographic nature. Your consciousness is made of one instant flash manifestation. And if you understand like that, you are free to use any word, including soul. But if you use consciousness, you think of consciousness as something long-lasting, even the word consciousness is wrong. Consciousness, as well as object of consciousness, they manifest in such a way that look like cinema. And people in quantum physics, they begin to see clearly. So when we tend to believe that consciousness is permanent, the soul is permanent, and only the body perish, the soul continue like that for a long time to go to the heaven or to go to the hell. That is the belief in eternalism. Thường kiến, the view of permanence, which is a wrong view. Because Buddhism proposes.
I want you to notice that he's using the blackboard, the whiteboard marker. He's holding a brush, because he's used to writing Chinese with a brush. And I'd like to see also this word. Can you see my marker here? You see what I'm doing here?
Like a figure,
Yeah, this part is an eye. And that means this is actually a view, meaning like a philosophical view, the philosophical view of eternalism. Okay, that's enough for now. Let's go.
Impermanence. And impermanence goes well with the science. But science also acknowledges that everything is impermanent. They exist only in one flash. So that applies not only to consciousness, but to the world which is object of consciousness. I see that in elementary Buddhism, we learn that Dharma, with a capital D, is the teaching of the Buddha. But Dharma with a simple D, it means object of mind, object of mind. Knowable. Object of mind. So we know that the world is, first of all, object of mind. That is something you can be sure of. And whether the world exists by itself, alone, we cannot be sure. But we can be sure that it is the object of mind. The sun, the moon, the earth, the cosmos, the galaxies, they are all objects of mind. And our body also are object of our mind. And our mind also is object of our mind.
Wow.
So there is possibility to investigate on the object of our mind. And when we understand the object of our mind, we understand our mind. Because the mind and the object of mind that interact, one cannot be with the other. So a right view should transcend the view of eternalism. So a permanent immortal soul is something that cannot be accepted either by good Buddhists or good scientists. But the opposite view, that after this body disintegrates, you disappear altogether. That is another extreme. This is another wrong view called alienation. Annihilatism is okay, or you have to say annihilationism. Which one is good? Second one? Annihilationism. So this is one is good. So this is an extreme, and this is another extreme. This is a wrong view, this is another wrong view. To say that you disappear altogether with your body is a wrong view. It's called a đoạn kiến. So as explained in Buddhism, you are not caught in both views. And rebirth, continuation, should be understood in the light of no eternalism, no annihilationism. So the popular, the Buddhism of devotion, popular Buddhism may believe something, may adopt a more eternalistic approach. They think that after the disintegration of the body, the soul remains the same and will penetrate into another body. An animal, a tree, a squirrel, a deer, another person, That person may be white, maybe black, maybe brown, and so on. So that is naive if we stand from the viewpoint of right view. So to say that after we die, we continue the same person in different forms of life. That's not deep Buddhism, and that is not scientific, because impermanence always changing. The cinematographic nature of body and mind do not allow such a kind of thinking. So it's neither Buddhist nor scientific. But a number of scientists they are caught in this view, and they are not good scientists, because good scientists see that nothing can disappear. Nothing is born, nothing dies. It's only continued manifestation in different kind of forms. So that is a kind of rebirth. That is kind of samsara. That is a kind of continuation, but in the light of impermanence and no self. And many scientists are capable of seeing that. So annihilation is neither Buddhist nor science. No. And a good Buddhist students can transcend both these two wrong views. And the notion of rebirth, the notion of continuation is free from these two views. Otherwise, it's not very Buddhist, it's not very scientific. Suppose you are a cloud, and this is to use an image for meditation. You are a cloud, you are made of tiny crystals of ice, of water, and you are so light so that you don't fall. You can float. And the huge clouds, millions of tons of water floating like that. And there is interaction, collision between these tiny crystals of ice, and they may become one big piece of ice and fall down. A big piece drop of water and fall down as rain. But maybe halfway, you encounter a block of hot air. So you evaporate again and you come up again. You go down, you come up again, you go down, you come up again. So transmigration, reincarnation, rebirth is taking place always in the cloud. A cloud does not need to become rain in order to have a new life. A cloud has a new life every moment. So rebirth, continuation takes place with us in the same. Because every moment we produce thought, we produce speech, and we produce action. And that action will have an effect on us and on the world. And that is our product of karma, of action. Karma is a very important term. So look at that cloud, and if you think that that cloud just float and is the same cloud, that's not true. The cloud is very active. There's a lot of activities in a cloud, and the cloud can produce very powerful energy. The electric light produced by a cloud can destroy many things, can go very quick. It's hotter than the heat created by a cloud is hotter than heat in the sun. So we don't understand enough about clouds. We have to learn more about clouds. And clouds are impermanent, and the cloud is very active. And birth and death, continuation, rebirth and rebirth, and birth and rebirth continue always, every moment in the cloud. And that will be helpful because we are like a cloud. In fact, there's a lot of cloud in us. And we continue to drink cloud every day. So birth and death are taking place in every moment of our daily life. We should not say that, I would die only in 20 years or 30 years. No, you are dying right in this moment, and you are reborn right in this moment. So rebirth is something that is happening in the here and the now, and not in the future. So when someone asks you, what happened to me when I died? And you may help him or her by asking back a question, what happened to me in the here and the now? And if you know what happened to you in the here and the now, you can answer the other question very easily. And you are undergoing birth and death right now. Rebirth is taking place right now. Because mentally and physically, you are of a human nematographic nature, and you are reborn every instant. You are renewed in every instant in order to be a new person, a new being. And if you know how to do it, your renewal is beautiful. With karma, you can assure a beautiful continuation, a better continuation. If you know how to handle your thinking, your speech, and your action, you will be more beautiful. And this is possible. That is an action, that is karma. So the fact is that you don't need to wait until you die in order to see what happened to you. Look in the present moment, and you see that birth and death is going on in you at every moment. Both in your body and in your consciousness. And if you really know what is going on in the present moment, the other question will be answered very easily. It's the same kind of answer. Every moment of our daily life, there is input, there is output. You breathe in, you take food, you have new ideas, new feelings, and there is output also. There are things that go out from you. In terms of body, urine, air, water, and so the cosmos is going to you and renew you, and you are returning other things to the cosmos. You are renewing yourself at every moment. So birth and death does not wait. It is happening now, in the present moment. Suppose one part of the cloud is able to transform itself into the rain and fall down and become part of river. And the rest of the cloud was looking up from the sky and see its continuation down here on earth. And it can wave, have a good journey down there. I enjoy up here, but you, part of me, I hope you enjoy down there. To be floating up here is nice, but to be flowing down there is also nice. So you are both up there and in here. That is our cloud. And as a human being, you can see that too. I can see myself in my students and my friends. I hope them good luck, because their good luck is my good luck. When my disciples and my friends carry me with them, and I wish them the best. And my happiness and suffering depend on them. I continue. So when I look, I don't see me here. I see me there. So I wave, have a good stay there, have a good time. You see? So that is the way to look. You see yourself not just in this body, because that is a wrong view. You see yourself because everywhere. Because every moment you produce thought, you produce speech, you produce action that continues you in the world. You are there and not just here. So the other day, our friend from Thailand asked me, "Thai, what happened when you die?" It's a sushi. I said that I will not die. I will continue with my friends and my students. I'll be there for a long time. I want to enjoy traveling and being around. So in 100 years from now, if you come to Plumless, you'll still see me in different forms and younger. More beautiful. And because it is possible to be more beautiful in our way of thinking, in our way of speaking and acting, if we know how to generate the right view. With right view, we don't suffer. We can produce thoughts of compassion, understanding, forgiveness, and feel light within us. And we heal the world. So it is possible to continue in beauty. So a cloud can do the work of self-purification up there, so that when it becomes snow or river, it is beautiful. It is possible.
Okay. Okay, why don't you respond to that while I get another one ready to go?
I found it very moving, just beautiful how he explained it.
I did too. I have to say,
I don't really know how he could be more beautiful, really. He's pretty amazing.
Yeah.
I like the distinction between, what were those two words he used? Eternalism and annihilationism, and it's a middle way.
Yeah.
And I liked how he also kind of called out some of the schools of Buddhism on the eternalism aspect of it with the soul.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd really like the link to this, Dan, this particular speech,
Yeah.
because my son was talking to me the other day about precisely this, you know, transition and what happens then.
Uh-huh.
And I thought this was a lovely approach. I'd love to send it to him.
I'll be happy to send all links.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, that's a good one. Good job. That was a great
Yes.
one.
Yes, it's great.
And it seems like it was, what was the date on that one? It looks fairly on the recent side.
Well, it's like 2009. I think several of these I'm doing today are 2009, which means he was 83 years old.
Amazing.
He had the
Before his stroke, yeah,
stroke was in 2000.
right.
Yeah, it was. I saw that and I thought, well, I just have to play that one. So,
Oh, yeah, no, you were right.
That
You
was
did have
right.
to play. That kind of covers it, doesn't it?
It's the best. It's wonderful.
Yeah, that was great. Really, really great.
this next one is not much less. So let me play that one. When we get Conti back here.
And I like how you explain the view, the
Yeah.
kanji for view.
Yeah.
I love your kanji explanations. We could do a whole class on that. That'd be
Yeah, we've been talking about that. We need to do it.
I'll be happy to. You won't be able to stop me.
Oh, good. I still don't have my tattoo yet, but I'm working on it.
That little thing underneath the eye that looked like two legs, it does mean it's a kind of human view. And it also means, they also think historically, from, kanji have etymologies like all language do. And all language does. And it's thought, the experts say it's like a person who's kneeling down to look closely at something.
Oh, that makes sense with that kind of knee down on the back leg.
Yeah, that's it. Just
I
as,
love that. Oh my God.
actually, that one thing I always explain to you so many times about mindfulness being
I love that.
heart and mind being the same thing in Buddhism and in Hinduism from a certain point of view. Heart and mind sheltered in the present moment. There it is. That's the one. Thank you.
Oh.
Yeah, the four lines are the bottom four lines are the heart and mind. Yeah. The top two lines, which looks like a kind of roof line.
Yeah.
And it also indicates that it relates to things human. That is more than just shoulder. It has to do with the whole. We found out just recently that it has to do with the whole thing of the three Buddhist vows. It's also not just shelter; it's refuge.
Refuge. Right. That makes sense.
So we have, I go to the Buddha for refuge. I go to the Dharma for refuge. I go to the Sangha for refuge. Who is Anna Claudia Oro? Who's that?
She's been in the happiness study group for a while. She's on our email list.
Okay, fine.
Yeah.
Welcome.
Yep.
And
Still connecting.
yeah, let me get the next one ready. You can see here. Let's see.
That sounds like a really exciting topic to me, the etymology of kanjis.
Some are more interesting than others. Some are absolutely fascinating.
Yes.
Some are just done for the sake of sounding like some other words. So goes
Yeah,
to-
but those ones like heart and mind,
oh yeah, there's some really,
shelter of the moment, or however that goes. It's just so great.
yeah. Then you get into how they write them. I mean, you have to pull me out of a room that has, the kanji rooms in the museums and like Tokyo National Museum and something. I just won't stop.
It's fascinating. It really is.
Acquired taste, but once you have it, boy, it's so beautiful. Okay, so let me see if I can get this next one. I'm going to try sharing and see if it's ready to share. It looks like it. Hey,
Whee!
we're too. Let's see how it goes.
Okay, I'm gonna mute now.
Yeah, all right.
Difference there is a picture in Hanoi, North Vietnam. We used to come to pilgrimage and practice. She had cancer. Her name is Sister Dan. Originally she came from Mai Temple because a monk from Mai Temple in Huế went to the north and set up a temple, and she was a great grandchild of that picture. So she found out that she belonged to the Tây Temple, so she came to France in order to meet her. After that, she found out that she had cancer, and one day she said that I want to go to France and spend 3 months of practice. And after that, I will go back to Hanoi and die. She accepted that. But she wanted to spend her 3 months in pilgrimage, enjoy walking, sitting with the Sangha. And that's why when she came, other sisters advised her to go to Bordeaux and see a doctor. She said, no, I don't need to see a doctor. I have accepted my death. I only want to spend all my time to be with you in pilgrimage. And during these 3 months, she enjoyed sitting, walking with all of us. And she felt great. We saw her very happy. And before she went back to Hanoi to die, the sisters in the apartment urged her to go to the doctor. Just to have a look. And she did, and she went to the doctor. And the doctor found that all the metastases had come returned to one place. She was healthy after 3 months of practice. Joy, no fear, accident. So she continued to live for many, many years after that. 19 years, she was sustained under my eyes. Almost 10 years. And she's very faithful. She's very eager to share the practice of pilgrimage to the people in Hanoi, in Vietnam. Because we are still a communist country, it's difficult for us to organize retreats and practice like this. When a retreat is organized, many thousand people come and they don't like that, especially young people. So during his visit in Vietnam, they were authorized to have some retreats. Retreat was attended by more than 5,000 people. And the party and the government didn't like that. They cannot control. People are so young and enthusiastic. Sister Dan Nguyen, she built a stupa, a pagoda, a kind of memorial in her temple. Because in operation, every picture should be honored by a pagoda, a temple, a stupa. And when I went to Hanoi for the first time in 2005, the stupa was already built. And I told her that I does not need a stupa. I doesn't like to sit in the stupa. But I have already built one for you near time. And they said, in that case, you have to make a description. Super. Say, not here. How is that? If you incidentally try body, you make some and you put in a small pot and put it. It's not me. I don't like to be there. Outside is so beautiful. But if people don't understand, you have to add another sentence. Out there, either. If you only inside, you don't see, and you go and look outside, you cannot see me either. And if they still don't understand, you have to add a third sentence. There is nothing inside, there is nothing outside. And the third is, if there is nothing, it must be found on your way of breathing and walking. If there is anything, that should be found in your way of breathing and walking. So dear friends, if you want to be with Thầy, if you want to see Thei's continuation, the surest place is in you. Your way of breathing, your way of walking, prove that Thầy is in you. And you are a real continuation of Thầy. The way Jesus Christ received the bread and break it and share it, recognize that it is Jesus, not his body, his feelings, and his perceptions. The Buddha receive the bread, break the bread, and share the bread, make you recognize him as a living reality. So they care very much about his continuation body. If you really want to care, then the surest place to look for Thầy is in your way of breathing. If you breathe in and out and you find peace and happiness and fulfillment, you know that Thầy is always with you. And when you walk from the parking lot to your office, and if you feel joy, fulfillment, happiness, Thầy is always walking with you. And we should wish Thầy a happy, beautiful, continuation body. And you are that body. This is what we want to remind you as we are on our last day of the retreat. After this, we have the time to walk together and sit around the lotus pond. There are already blooming lotus flowers. And when we go home to our city, to our country, we continue this kind of practice. We set up a Sunday if we don't have one already, and we are the true continuation of the Buddha. This is a happy moment, and we should be able to make that happy moment last. Thank you very much.
Okay.
That was a good one.
What I hear when he's talking about the continuation, how he is in you, in your way of breathing, in your way of walking, I also think of it in terms of kind of a vibrational coherence when people are in that balanced state, and it's a heart-to-heart kind of knowing.
Nice, very nice. Yeah, he's most famous for teaching breathing and walking, and the deeper aspects thereof. I have a lecture on that. We have, it's about 8 minutes to 3. So I have a lecture on that one that lasts probably 20 minutes. And then I have a lecture. I have just the meditation, the first 8 steps of the 16 steps of breathing. And it's very simple. But I don't know how many of you caught Seminary Jayasara last Sunday when she did her.
I didn't see it.
Yeah. She's a lovely, she's a very faithful interpretation of, she did her own meditation, trying to be as much like Te as possible. And actually, I found it better than the ones I found of him. And for some reason, they're not the best on YouTube. Maybe it's filmed under bad conditions and hard to understand. And so her voice is easier to understand. And she puts some thought into it. She explains what she thinks. So since we haven't done a meditation yet, why don't we finish with that? And it takes about 20 minutes maybe. Well, let me see if I can find it, get it up and ready.
Yeah, she's much easier to understand than he is.
Yeah, he's tough, but you know, he knew 8 languages. So.
You know, I was watching him reach for words in English, and
Oh,
he's amazing.
brilliant.
Yeah.
And her name again that you just mentioned?
Seminary. That's a title in Buddhist Theravada Buddhist. It shows how her status as a Buddhist nun, from initiate to moving onward, before she becomes a senior position nun. Samaneri, not a common Sanskrit word, but it's one for the specialized use. And the second word is Jayasara, which means essence of, here in air quotes, spiritual victory.
Right.
You've heard Jaya all your life, I'm sure. Yeah.
She's so wonderful.
And Sara is essence, or the heart of anything, the essential part of anything. My favorite word for that play on words is the Sanskrit. One of the many Sanskrit words for bamboo is Tvachi Sara, and that means, or it means, is unlike everything else. The essence, the hardest, the firmest part of a bamboo is on the outside because it's empty inside. So it's it's sort of like, the essence is in the skin of the plant. Okay, let me see if I can find this and get it ready for you.
I just want to say that if you haven't listened to a morning meditation or something or other, whatever she does, by Jayasara Seminary, Seminary Jayasara,
Right.
She doesn't come from my region. She comes from New South Wales. She's got this little temple in New South Wales. And even though it starts at 10 o'clock here, it's in darkness there. And she describes it. And you can't see her. You can just see maybe the art form. And what is particularly lovely for me is, and Nadine will love this too, is that as the light comes up, the sounds of the Australian bush come up with it. And of course, it's summertime there. And I just start bursting into tears because there were these sounds of the, no kookaburras, but the sounds of the magpies that I really relate to, because they're fabulous birds. They look like big ravens, but or crows, but they're black and white.
Yeah.
And so you heard the sounds of those, and then other little birds were coming up, and the sun must have hit whatever was outside, because then the cicadas came up, and I thought, oh my God, I'm back in Japan. And I was just, I hadn't had something like this happen to me, this connection with nature in another part of the world was just, I just really recommend it if you've got time on a Sunday morning to tune in and just catch her. Is she every Sunday, Dan, or every second Sunday?
Right, or every 2 weeks. She says it Australian style, fortnight.
Yeah. And she hasn't got a picture of her little refuge. I'd love to see it, but I can sort of imagine in my mind a sort of a little weatherboard kind of a typical Australian country house. But I could be quite wrong. Might destroy my illusion if I saw it.
I often hear birds and rain and wind on her recordings.
Yeah, you're gonna hear flowing water on this one.
Yeah.
Yeah, so.
It was lovely for me. I just thought I'd mention that.
Oh, no, it's lovely. It adds another whole element to it.
If nothing else, you should look up, just YouTube, put in the sound of the Australian magpies, because it's a totally different sound from the American magpies. It's this beautiful burbling sound. It's just.
I was wondering what those birds were that I was hearing on those.
Yeah, they carol, what we call carol, and it'll and they talk to each other.
Yeah.
And
Of course they do.
And when we were little and we're riding our bikes to school, they would swoop us, because if they were nesting, they thought that we were.
Oh yeah, if you were anywhere near their nest, watch out.
We had some very wary, behavior from them. Anyway, sorry about that. Reminiscing.
No, that's all right.
Lovely. Listen, I'm going to play the meditation now, and this is Jayasara with a, excuse me, I'll get this on screen if I can. Good, it showed up. That's lovely. I got 3 for 3. Wow.
Nice work, Dan.
Anyway, this is Jayasara. Now she when she does the meditation, that's what she looks like. Whoops, there she is. But when she meditates, she doesn't show her face. She just puts a candle in front of it. So if you want to close your eyes and meditate during the meditation, you're not missing a thing. You can hear the voice and you're ready to go. So here's this lovely woman. Playing the Thich Nhat Hanh basic meditation.
Breathing in. I know I'm breathing in. Breathing out. I know I'm breathing out. So let's just be simple here. Acknowledging the simple fact of just breathing.
I apologize. I thought you were getting the sound.
Acknowledging the simple fact of just breathing. However the body needs to breathe is okay. There's no perfect breathing. There's no perfect way. We're simply open and allowing. That which we take for granted, which we overlook. The simple act of breathing, which can be our friend. Inviting us to come into the present moment fully, gently, compassionately. Breathing in, I allow thoughts to come. Breathing out, I allow thoughts to go. Breathing in, I allow the past to dissolve. Breathing out, I allow the future to dissolve. Resting fully in the present moment. The only moment that is available to me is just this, right here, right now. Breathing in, a calm body and mind. Breathing out, I smile. letting go of whatever arises, smiling, fully aware that everything ceases. Breathing in, I flow with life. Breathing out, I relax into life unfolding. Breathing in, I'm awake. I am present. Breathing out, I let go of all sensory impingement. Breathing in, I allow, I accept whatever arises within my body and mind. Breathing out, I release. Breathing in, I know there is only this moment. Breathing out, I dissolve fully into this moment. Breathing in. Let go of all hopes, all expectations. Breathing out. I release all fears. Present moment. Wonderful moment. There is nothing you need to hold on to. There is nothing you need to push away. Breathing in, I'm open to everything. Breathing out, I relax. Breathing in, I'm aware of the silence. Breathing out, I am empty. Breathing in, I'm stillness. Breathing out, I am peace. these thoughts that arise, these feelings, bodily sensations, emotions, memories. Breathing in, I'm aware of them now. Breathing out, I know they're not me. They're not mine. I allow them to dissolve. Breathing in, I recognize my own awareness. Breathing out, I trust in this awareness. Breathing in, I am awareness itself. Breathing out, awareness itself. Breathing in, I have arrived. Breathing out, I am home. Breathing in. I welcome fully the new day. Breathing out. I give thanks. Breathing in. I am aliveness itself. Breathing out. I am peace. I am joy. Breathing in. I am aware of the sound of the bell. Breathing out. I rest again fully into the present moment. Wonderful moment. So breathing in, we come back into connection, communication, fully present with others, with ourselves. and they'll have a little bit of time for any reflections or questions, concerns about meditation practice or similar. Let's put the chat back on. And just to say, if people haven't ever connected with Venerable Thich Nhat Hanh's teachings before, there's a plethora of stuff out there. I remember many years ago coming upon his guided meditation with the sound of the bell, which I found really beautiful, really helpful. Just that simple present moment awareness with the breath, with the sound of the bell. Because we can overcomplicate things with meditation and philosophies and techniques. And the beauty about Thai is that he just always stuck to the simple present moment awareness with the breath. And in Buddhism, this technique, call it a technique if you like, but this practice of just being fully in the present moment with mindfulness of breathing, what's called anapanasati. You know, this is the teaching that the Buddha taught. And this simple practice of just being fully with the breath, with mindfulness, with awareness and wisdom, it's all you need. It takes you all the way there to nibbana, to release. So for those of us like myself who are simple-minded, this practice is a great joy. You don't have to go searching for anything else. And as long as you utilize the calm and stillness that arises through anapanasati, mindfulness of breathing, to develop the wisdom and insight, which will develop naturally, actually. It's not like you have to set a curriculum to develop wisdom and insight, but to allow wisdom and insight to arise with this present moment awareness. That's all you need. Nibbana is there, waiting for you to discover, uncover it, and allow such a simple, pure practice, really, to take you all the way. So let me just go back, because I think some questions came in. Lots of and lots of gratitude, which is lovely, and to feel that gratitude for all the teachers, all the masters that have been helping us out of compassion along the way, whether you're aware of it or not. But this gratitude is a really central part of the practice, because it humbles us. It reminds us that, you know, we're such a know-it-all culture, and we think it's us doing the work, us that's going to get something. And, you know, these teachings are always reminding us to empty out, to be humble, and to allow the Dharma to come to the fore. Not our egos, not our personalities. That which is much more pure and wise. Okay, so we have a question.
Yeah. Should we all be lucky enough to be as simple-minded as she is?
Yes. That would be good. It is really simple though, isn't it?
Simpler the better. We often think.
Yeah. We do tend to complicate it.
Yeah. And mind comes from ego. It's not always a good thing.
Even though some of the sound, the words were not quite intelligible at times, the one thing that really struck me early on, I breathe in and allow thoughts to come. And I realized there were no thoughts. Normally you try to sit in silent meditation and you got to, let all that stuff kind of dissipate, but it was.
How not? Yeah,
The
so
breathing is key too, of course.
I think when she said, I greet the morning sunlight, that was the Australian magpie calling there.
I heard him. Yeah, greeting the morning. There he was. Yeah.
I'm sending links to all this.
Oh, great. That's good. I especially want the links for those 2 Thai ones. Those are really wonderful. And
Yeah.
Stan, thank you for finding those.
This is the second or third time through with me on the Jayasara. I like it more every time. Fantastic.
I've been listening to Nisargadatta a lot recently.
You and me both.
Well, her doing him.
Yes.
So good. So good.
Which ones are you listening to?
I'm listening to the I think it's the I Am. Wait, I can tell you which one it is. Hold on. It's the one that you sent last week. I like it, but I don't love it as much as the first one.
I don't know what I sent last week. Anyway, I recommend when you finish the IMs, go on to, there's 3 called Nisargadatta Meditations, taken from the book Meditations with Sri Nisargadatta Maharaj. So, small book, but lovely meditations. He just stops you in your tracks.
It's really so basic and perfect, really.
And powerful. Yeah.
Oh, so good. Which one? It's not the, let's see. Not Grieve Noble. Oh, I Am. It's that one. That's the one. I listen to that one like all the time.
Yeah, no, I go from one to the next, but right now, the last week I've been listening to these 3 called, I think just called Meditations 1, Meditations 2, Meditations 3.
Oh, I don't know those.
They're up there under her 24 or 25 selections from Sri Nisargadatta Maharaj.
Uh-huh. Yeah, no, he was amazing.
By the way, that's teachers in his tradition are all called Maharaj.
Okay. Huh. What tradition is he?
Navinata. It's a kind of non-dualistic form of Advaita Vedanta with the Shaiva philosophy. There's a book. I Am That.
I Am That.
There's the woman holding up the product.
There she is.
Believe it or not, Adyashanti, who, I have a waffly, connection with, he read that and things changed for him. And I thought, well, okay, maybe something good for me.
Maybe something will happen. And you say you're wobbly on Adyashanti. You're not
I was never a big fan of Adyashanti. He talked too much for me.
He does talk a lot.
Which is the difference between him and, oh my God.
Your boy.
Nisargadatta, yeah.
You read, you can't get through one little chapter with him. There's questions and answers. And for instance, who am I? The questioner asks. And Maharaj just goes on, and you can't get to the bottom of the page. There's just so much. Oh,
Really?
That's
yeah,
that.
I
I'm
just-
looking for a new book to read. That might be the one.
well, it'll last you the rest of your life, I feel.
Oh, good.
And
Yeah.
so many people have said the same thing.
Yeah.
I can't think of them all. Dan would know them all because my memory is useless. But the other person that I really like, and I've been listening to a lot, is Francis Lucille, who is our pal just up in Temecula. Who would have thought?
Oh, he's right here, right? Isn't that's Rupert's guy, right?
This teacher.
And, oh, sorry, but it just, I've been getting this whole thing about, I don't know whether it's because we're all connected on Zoom and internet and whatnot now, but their consciousness is coming out of the woodwork, and we don't have to go back to the Upanishads, the Kathopanishad, Bhagavad Gita, with all that old-fashioned language. It's all here in quantum physics. It's sort of blowing my mind, I have to say. And of course, Francis is a scientist. And Dan, what is he? I can't remember what he was in, but
No, his field.
he's very good at explaining the science behind all this. And of course, his whole thing is, well, if you don't believe me, that's okay. Just inquire. You just check it out. You know, scientifically, this is a scientific process. You know, scientists think, well, here's a problem, and we'll ask questions about it, which of course, being a, you know, I've been chewing away at this for a long time. And, you know, just, you know, when you read the 11th chapter of the Gita, and now you think, oh, that's what they were talking about, you know, thousands of years ago. And then you go back to Jesus, and it makes sense, and Rumi makes sense. And it's just, oh, I don't know. It's lovely, isn't it? Just to find these words all around the world, and they, you know, just find the set of words that turn you on. I mean, it's all, that's what's, so if I rave about Francis Lucille, it doesn't mean it's going to work for you guys.
Oh, no, it's like anything. Yeah,
Exactly. Like Adyashanti worked for you guys, and I thought, well,
didn't work for you. Yeah.
I like it simple, like Thich Nhat Hanh, you know, that's about as the speed that I'm working at. The neurotransmitters are not, you know, clicking along. Oh dear. Anyway, I've said too much. Thanks for listening.
No. We like it. We like it. Yeah, that was great. Thich Nhat Hanh. So he's still with us here. He's not in his stupa.
No, he was with us when we were meditating, to breathing in and breathing out.
Yep. Remember, I told you when I'd been writing to people, and I wrote to Plum Village,
Yeah.
and I got a lovely response back from one of the monks there, who said, whenever you meditate together, we are with you.
Yeah. Very Thich Nhat Hanh-ish.
Very.
Question about the second tape we listened to by Ty, where he talked about that. I mean, it was very lovely how he is in everyone that he has touched over the course of his physical being. So what about a hermit in some kind of, in the woods or in the desert, who doesn't have any contact? How does he continue then? How is his essence, whatever it is, the consciousness?
They all say, well, we don't know what we don't know, as people say, but there's no obligation, as they all say, that even the ones that teach and all that, say there's no obligation for the pratyeka Buddhas, the ones who are in, you know, you never know they're enlightened. They're not obliged to teach. They've done their part for humanity just by becoming enlightened.
Okay.
So what you're saying, Heidi, is that their continuation comes in a different form than a teacher who shared. That's what you're getting at? Like, how does the theory of that continuation manifest in someone who has been sequestered out in the forest?
Right.
Right.
That's another way of saying is those
Photons.
photons.
Oh, yeah. I always think of that now.
Thinking more in terms of vasanas and sanskaras, but those things that influenced that personality as it was born, or he says no born, spontaneously appeared, whatever you want to say, got resolved, and that was enough. You know, a lot of the really enlightened people say there's no bondage, no liberation ever.
Well, that's what she was saying. Just, I mean, Nibbana is right here, right now. That's where it is. It's in the moment, in the totally free,
And if you
untethered, present moment. That's where it is.
you must have heard already, but Nisargadatta is saying there's no such thing as time and space, and you get far enough into it.
And nobody, I mean, the astrophysicists don't understand time and space. So how are we supposed to?
You bet.
I mean, they don't. They still don't. They don't have an explanation for how time works. I mean, I've watched enough of those videos where they try to explain it.
Yeah.
But nice cattail going by. But they don't really know.
Yeah. No, I mean, it's endless.
And
Yeah.
trying to
Another one.
get
There
anybody
went. Saw it.
anybody to explain consciousness. That's cannot be explained.
Well, I mean, I think eventually it may be able to be explained. It's just we don't have the ability to explain it at this moment.
That's for sure. We'll see. I don't have a view on whether it will be explainable or not. It just is. It hasn't been explained to anyone's satisfaction now. I liked Robert Wright when they asked him what was conscious. He's a professional psychologist. He's written famous books. He said, "Beats me."
Oh yeah, well, my grandpa in my future life, the Nobel laureate from Columbia University, whose name escapes me at the moment, he did that whole series with Charlie Rose on the brain. It was like one of the most amazing things ever. Like it was 2 or 3 years of brain.
Yeah.
And they asked him, he goes, well, when do you think he goes, I don't know, maybe another 100 years, maybe.
Yeah.
They just don't know. And that's why, you know, the whole idea of consciousness, I think all of these people are just trying to find a way to explain it. And it just hasn't been explained yet. We just don't get it. So we ascribe all these theories to it and that verge on religiosity.
I think it can't be explained on the level of explanation.
I think it can be. I just think it hasn't. Yeah.
Understood, it can be grokked, but not.
Yeah.
not
I think
expressed.
the cat is giving us the question mark. What do
Yeah,
we
the question goes on, but I mean, you know, they didn't understand electricity or light or photons or, you know, any of, I mean, our whole idea of what an atom is, that model that we see all the time, that's not what an atom is.
I know.
It's a representation of an atom, but that is a constantly moving in motion thing that cannot be contained in that little model that we're used to seeing.
20th century total distortion.
It's a total distortion of reality. So, you know, I don't think that it can't be known. I just think that it isn't known.
I've got a question for Mary.
Yes.
I was curious with Ty's description of the soul and the self. And I was wondering how that resonated with you, because, you know, the name of your organization is Self-Realization. So in your, well, you better if you explain it, but you're recognizing a true self as compared to an ego self. Is that?
Capital S versus small s.
What's that?
Let Mary explain, darling, because I'm asking Mary.
Well, you know, the understanding that that we are, and I try not to use words that, you know, connote religiosity, but that we are manifestations of a divine or universal principle. The self is that which Ty discussed in terms of, you know, in everything else as well. You know, it's not, I mean, on a certain level, there's an individuation, but that's not the ultimate truth. Probably not.
Do you have a name for the ultimate truth?
A name?
Yeah.
No, I don't know that anybody.
I'm just curious about self-realization, though. You see, the name of it sounds like you're realizing something.
Well, as I said, the self, which is in fact just one facet or aspect, like the light going through a crystal, which then becomes many different colors. It's just an aspect of you know, a greater self, so to speak.
Right.
Probably,
so would you think that the
True self.
cloud that he was describing would fit in with your just description here?
yeah, I do. I mean, you know, I'm not an expert, and any formalisms aside, you know, there's a very devotional aspect of the kind of services that we would have. But I mean, I like to explore everything. And I think that there's many ways to describe or be conscious of, you know, what is ultimately our being. If that's clear as mud, I apologize.
No, words can't describe it. That's the thing, you know.
Yeah, I mean, the quantum field, you know, they talk about the quantum field, and again, I don't think that we're ever going to explain time and space or consciousness. I think as we evolve, that aspect of reality will hopefully manifest in very powerful and beautiful ways, you know, in terms of our civilization and our individual lives and our relationships.
Do you think there's hope for our civilization?
No.
Well, we're going through birthing pains right now, I would say, but again, I think that the evolutionary process is also a revolutionary process.
That's very helpful, because, you know, I've just been going through a conversation with Martina, who, you know, tells us that if she's correct, that we're in for some tough times. And I don't know what she means exactly, whether there's going to be, you know, complete debacle, or whether we'll make it through.
No, we are in for some tough times, but again, if we look beyond, you know, like my individual person, okay, and if I starve, or if I get wiped out, or something else happens, it's, you know, it's nothing for me to be concerned or worried about per se, because I think that ultimately through the birthing pain process, so to speak, that a new and hopefully better paradigm will emerge.
If we don't destroy the planet first.
Yeah, let's try not to do that.
No, we're never going to destroy the planet.
Well, not the planet, I mean humanity. We're not going to destroy the planet. I mean, the planet could get destroyed, but not by us.
No.
The planet will